Hey guys, my name is Bando. This is Bando. It's Tuesday, I think. I've lost what day it is. It's Tuesday. Okay, I'm going crazy. Wow, that's professional. So it's Tuesday, and Warcom has got a couple of articles to go through, some new models shown off, and I thought we could have a little chat and have a look at them. So first up, we have got the Unleash the Sudden Dawn Cadre, mobilising the new Tau Empire Combat Patrol, which would be this one. Right, blast enemies at point blank range with the scrappier, shootier new Tau Empire Combat Patrol. So, looking at this, I quite like this as a combat patrol. Or as a start collecting, whatever you want to call it, as a good basis to start a Tau army. 10 breachers and 10, what they called, pathfinders, a commander and a devilfish. It's not bad. It's not really heavily kind of leaning one way. It's not got some horrendous character model or giant mech model in there that you're only ever going to need one of. So, you know, if it suits you, this is a good box to pick up, you know, 2 of to start a force. The Tau tanks are great. The Tau Devilfish, the Devilfish and the Hammerhead have had minor recuts, but no major rework whatsoever since their original release back in 4th edition? It's either very late 3rd edition or 4th edition. The Pathfinders are relatively new. The Breachers are newish. Are relatively new. And the Commander is relatively new. I would say relatively in the last 3 or 4 editions. So, you know, 10 years or so. Look, I'm used to it when it was the original first release, when they were still painted like orange, which I think is actually a better paint scheme than this. My sense of time with the hobby is warped. I love the Tau Commander. The Tau Commander is one of my favourite kits that GW's ever released. I bought one, I tried to convert it, I lost half the parts. There's 35 quid wasted. Yeah, the Breaches are cool. I really like them. The Devilfish is a great looking tank. I think the Hammerhead looks fantastic. The old Forge World turrets for them were quite cool as well. I can't remember all the weapons they had on them. But yeah, these are good. This is a nice picture. I like this. So yeah, all in all, I think that's a good kind of kit to start. If you were looking at starting a Tau army, if you're one of those people that really enjoys kind of just being abused by the entire community, you should start a Tau army. Actually, I think we need more of them. I think we do need more Tau players out there, because Tau are kind of cool. And of course, if you wanted to get these models, you don't have to use them in 40k. You could use them in one-page rules, where they do have a faction that is specifically designed to work with these kind of models. So that's them. So I mean, this is really well painted. Like, I like the wear and tear on it is, you know, my style of painting, so that's good. So going over to Age of Sigmar, we've got one of the models from the new starter set, a Skaven Warlock Engineer with what looks like some sort of Giselle, or it's a Warplock Musket. Which is kind of cool. I've always liked Skaven. The Skaven are a hilarious faction. I'm very glad to see them getting the limelight in Age of Sigmar. Would it tempt me to play Age of Sigmar? No, not at all. Would I want to do that for Warhammer the Old World? Quite possibly, yes. But they're great, you know, the quirky aesthetic, the funny kind of chaos of them. Skaven are great. So let's have a look. The White Dwarf. So we've got issue 500 of White Dwarf coming out, and that's wild to think that. I remember issue 250 coming out. I remember issue 300 coming out, I think. Issue 300 actually had a cover that looked very similar to that model. Let's just have a look and see if I can find it. I can't even spell White Dwarf. There we go. That was great. That was a really cool cover, and it was really thick. It was almost like twice as thick as the your regular White Dwarf as well. It was really cool. And look at that price. Ooh. So yeah, coming out with issue 500, we will have this Grombadil model with rules for Age of Sigmar. It's a really nice model. I really like it. I'm actually kind of tempted to buy it. I'm not sure if it's plastic or if it's resin. It doesn't say anywhere in here if it's plastic or resin, unfortunately. A lot of the details kind of lead me towards resin, like the fur on the cloak. But then things like the hair make me think it's plastic. The base makes me think it's plastic as well. So, unfortunately, don't know. Won't know until we find out. Remember this one. Don't remember this guy. Vaguely remember this one. And it's a nice cover. I like that. It's a good cover. I might actually buy the issue. Just have a look, because I haven't bought a copy of White Dwarf in years. And it'd be nice to have a look. Is it me or does it look like Donald Sutherland? So I might pick that up, might see what it's all about, have a look at White Dwarf, see if it's what I remember of it. I don't know. But this is a really nice model. If I don't get it from GW, I'm sure one of the Chinese websites will eventually get it. Take Tertium from the console to the tabletop. So we have a new boxed game for a tie-in for Warhammer 40,000 Darktide. If you've not played Darktide, it is the it's the 40k version of Vermintide, where you and 3 other guys or girls basically plumb the depths of Tertium Hive and help defeat a rebellion by the Mobian 6th Regiment and their assorted Gribbly Nurgle Nerduels. It's a bit of fun. It's lacking a bit from a gameplay point of view. It's very repetitive. It's not enough story enough elements in it, but what it does do is it gives you a really characterful look at the environment. It's definitely worth doing. If you just play 40k on the tabletop, maybe play Necromunda, if you're a 30k fan, it's really worth looking at the terrain to get some inspiration, because the actual level design and the artwork there is really phenomenal. Tabletop game itself is a little bland, however. There's no new models in it. You get a couple of models which were originally from Blackstone Fortress, and then 2 40k models, one of which is quite an old model now, along with some Renegade Guard and some Poxwalkers, which I'm sure they still can't give away. So if you're an existing collector of 40k, this really probably isn't aimed at you. This is aimed at more of your friends who play video games, as a bit of a tie-in, to try and get them hooked and addicted to the plastic crack. Rumour Engine. So we have this claw. Aesthetics-wise, it's got a lot of kind of chaotic kind of leanings. The spikes on the back of the thumb, the paint scheme. This leads me to believe that we're seeing more of a tie-in with Vashtor. I think Vashtor is probably getting his own kind of faction. If you watch Valrak's video about the Executioners, it mentions how some of the Red Corsairs have sided with him. So I'm thinking maybe we're seeing something to do with that. So yeah, we'll see what that is hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Yeah. No, we've done the Scale Engineer. And then lastly we have the Hermes Sentinel. This is great. I like this. It's a really nice looking model. I want to get a couple of these. I don't know when. There is a guy in Discord who has been throwing around an army list which involves 26 of these, which is filth. But I'm thinking, you know, these would go nicely with my 411th Life Wards. You know, the grenade launcher especially looks kind of fun. So yeah, I like these. I like that it comes with lots of extra bits. I'm going to be able to find uses for a lot of these. And it looks like it comes in a box or two as well, which is also really nice. So that's Warcom for this, well, for Tuesday. I suppose we can have a look at this article as well. I did cover this briefly earlier, but it's the studio having a look at some of the new Bretonnian and Tomb King models. I'm still not sold on the Foot Knights. I still don't. They don't feel like Bretonnians to me. They feel more kind of too Empire-ish. I also noticed that they didn't use any of the female heads on them, but they did use them for the Duke. That's kind of cool. This is a nice model. I do like that. That's very nice. Like the knees, and there's something about it that just doesn't fit right. I don't know. It just doesn't look right for what it was. I don't know. There's very specific aesthetic for Bretonnians that I think is missing. And some of the detail is very chunky. Very chunky. Tomb Kings, it's pretty hard to mess up Tomb Kings. This is a great model. Some great use of colour. That's a really lovely, vibrant blue-green. A bit weird having kind of almost ice-looking crystals in the desert, but okay. It's just a pity that the pose is so repetitive. That's quite cool. I like that one. See, that's cool. That's cool. That's different. It's interesting. I like that. That's really cool. I just want these wing bits because I want to use them on a dreadnought for my 1,000 Suns. It's such a massive base as well. I think that might be the largest plastic base GW's ever actually done. Because I don't think many things come with a larger plastic base. So that's it, I think. Yep, doesn't look like there's anything else. We won't be having Heresy Thursday this week, obviously. So if there's anything interesting that comes up in Warcom, I'll take a look at it. My plans for the week include a video on terrain, using XPS foam to make terrain, and going over some of the pieces I use for my photos. Yeah, hopefully I'll be doing another work in progress video showing you what has got to be completed for my Sons of Horus. I might actually spread it out and cover a couple of armies, because there isn't as much Sons of Horus as there were, say, my 1,000 Suns. The ongoing saga of the Great Gaslighting is still continuing, and I'm even seeing it appearing on, like, mainstream, like, well, not mainstream, but, like, mainstream as in the sense that they are the bigger YouTube channels, like alternate news sites, places like The Critical Drink has been covering it, Nerdrotic, Lauren Chen, all sorts of big name like accounts that are really starting to weigh in on this as well, so it's not going away. And GW stock price is doing, you know, the conga again, so that's going to be interesting. As always, guys, you can come join us in Discord, come chat, share your models with us, let's take a look at what you're working on. If you want to support the channel, feel free. Hit to the like, subscribe, share button, drop a comment. If you would like to make a purchase at Element Games, you can always use my reward code, which is down in the description, and that'll get you double reward points. And the last thing I want to cover is a little bit... I made a community post about this you might not have seen, but there's a couple of people who've mentioned, like, oh, I've been deleting their comments, and I want to knock that on the head. I don't delete comments. The only time I would delete comments is if it was a spam comment that was like posting links to something that was harmful. You could come in here and be the most horribly offensive person towards me and this community you've ever seen, and I won't delete your comment, because I want other people to see your comments, and I want people to have a conversation with you. I'm a strong believer in free speech. I don't believe in censorship. I believe that the only way that you beat bad ideas is by having conversations. YouTube, on the other hand, does not believe this, and I have seen in the last week nearly 100 of your comments have gone through the whole held for review phase. But the problem is, they don't show up as soon as you make it. They can take a day to show up. So I have been in there almost non-stop for this weekend, effectively, just approving comments. And that can be comments you've made, it could be comments people have made on your comments. So don't be surprised if someone suddenly appears with 3 comments below your comment having a go at you that you're not responding to them. Yeah, so I don't delete comments. I don't think that's a healthy way of having, a community. I think it's important that we have conversations. If you think you're right, your job is to prove yourself right to me and convince me. And it's my job to convince you that I'm right. Not just to disprove you. So there we go. I hope, that being said, we can have, sensible conversations. We can not name call, and we can continue to grow as a community. I think just name calling is very bad for us. I think it leads to a very toxic environment. And I don't want that. Right. With that down note, thank you very much for watching. My name is Bando. This is Breakfast of Bando. Thank you for watching if you've made it this far. Bye-bye. It would help if I had the mouse on the right page. Womp womp.